What's up, guys? Python here, back with another top 5 trade deadline video, and today we're going to be covering the blue line. Since we already did depth forwards, we did middle six forwards. Go check those two videos out if you haven't already. So, gotta watch them. You gotta. And yeah, today we're going to be moving on to the blue line. Talk about 5 guys that I think that the Rangers should and maybe will, most likely will target at this year's trade deadline. And tomorrow, you're not going to want to miss tomorrow's video. Tomorrow's going to be the biggest video of them all. We're going to cover the top 5 biggest names for the Rangers to acquire at the deadline. So turn on your notifications. You won't want to miss that. And leave a like, by the way, if you do enjoy this. And subscribe if you guys are new. Would appreciate all of that. But we got a lot to cover here when it comes to this. So, yeah, there's not going to be anything crazy like yesterday's video with any names where it's a pipe dream scenario. This is all going to be realistic options for the Rangers at this year's deadline. And I think that all these guys would be very helpful because right now they're in a weird position with the 6th defenseman spot. You got Ben Harpur there, who's been okay, but you could definitely upgrade at the position there. Or you maybe want to use one of these guys as a rotational defenseman. I don't know what you want to use any of these guys as, but as a 6th, 7th defenseman, you could definitely utilize one of these guys. So we're going to talk about it again. If you haven't watched the previous videos, I'm trying to slow down a bit here. We do this from what I think is the least likely to happen to the most likely to happen of all these scenarios. So, yeah, let's jump into it now. Coming in at the number 5 spot in what I think is the least likely to happen out of all these names, we have Vlad Gavrikov from the Columbus Blue Jackets. A lot of Blue Jackets names here at this year's deadline, but Gavrikov at a $2.8 million cap hit. Definitely a exciting name for the Rangers. In 50 games played this year, he has 3 goals and 7 assists for 10 points. Last year, he had 33 points, which was a career high for him. Has a few playoff games under his belt, has 2 in his first season in the NHL, and then has 10 in the following year with the Columbus Blue Jackets in that 1920 season. He had 3 points in 10 games played for them in the playoffs there. Analytics, they love him offensively, but defensively, they do not like him that much. But he is a -6 this year on a poor Columbus Blue Jackets team. Not that plus minus is everything, and I don't think it's a great stat to look at. But to say, it does say something a bit when you're a -6 on a team like the Columbus Blue Jackets, who are a bottom-dwelling team. And plus, we've seen him earlier in the year. He definitely made a couple of nice plays against the Rangers. And he also could help you kill penalties. He is in the 74th percentile via JFresh's card on the penalty kill. So that is definitely going to help you out. Plus, he's also playing on the top pair for the Columbus Blue Jackets. So if you put him in a 6/ I don't know, if you put him in a 6th defenseman role, or if you even play him in the top 4, yeah, you're going to get some great production, especially if you do play him on that 6th defensive spot. Are you kidding me? That defensive percentile is going to go up. He's going to get higher there. And yeah, I don't think that that's really a worry. But Gavrikov, I think he's the least likely, only because of the high demand going into the deadline for him. I think he's the highest sought-after defenseman when it comes to this year's trade deadline. Could be wrong there, but that's just my opinion. Coming in now at the number 4 spot, another name that's unlikely just because of contract status, where we had that issue with a couple others. This is going to be Jacob Magna, and yes, the name might sound familiar because of Jason Magna, but no, this is his brother, and he is only making league min for this season and next season, so you'd have him under control for 2 years, which I think is a reason why this is more unlikely because of the fact they just extended Ben Harpur. So he's probably going to be locked in as a 6D man, but Jacob Magna would be great to have, and analytics love this guy a lot. In 48 games played, he has 12 points, 1 goal, 11 assists, and in the percentiles via JFresh's cards, he is 88th in the defensive percentile. Yeah, that is absolutely absurd, and he's not bad offensively either, sitting in the 42nd percentile, can kill some penalties. He's on San Jose's second pair, so that is another thing to keep an eye out. Another guy who's going to get a lower role when he comes to the New York Rangers. Well, I shouldn't say when, but if he comes to the New York Rangers, I should say. But the real question is going to be, are the San Jose Sharks willing to move a guy like Jacob Magna? Probably not, considering he has another year under contract. But at the same time, he is up there in age, and San Jose is rebuilding. And plus, Chris Drury does have connections to Greer when it comes to trading assets there, because of the fact that he was previously in the Rangers front office. So that is something to keep an eye out for. But remains to be seen if they will go out and make a trade. But I think that they would make a lot of sense there for that. But yeah, he comes in at number 4. Coming in at the number 3 spot, we have Dmitry Kulikov of the Anaheim Ducks. In 50 games played, he has 2 goals, 8 assists for 10 points. Has a couple playoff games under his belt. Hasn't really done much in 29 career playoff games. Has 8 points. So nothing too crazy. A -9 also, which is definitely not great for him. This year, he's a -11, which, again, on a bad Ducks team, isn't the worst thing. He was very solid for the Minnesota Wild last year in 80 games played, had 24 points. So would be a very solid pickup for the New York Rangers, and I think that one of his 2 goals actually is against the New York Rangers this year. And for the Anaheim Ducks, why would they trade him? Well, he is under contract for 1 more year left, so it makes a lot of sense there for them to deal him and try to get a draft pick. When it comes to the analytics side of things, they don't really love him too much. He's in the 18th percentile for WAR and in the 60th percentile for defense, which isn't awful, but he's not great on the penalty kill, not great offensively, and he's playing second pair minutes for the Anaheim Ducks. He would be in a reduced role, so those numbers will probably increase. But again, I don't really know if Dmitry Kulikov is necessarily the sexy name for the New York Rangers to go after. But speaking of not so sexy names, but a name that it would be connected to the New York Rangers because he was a New York Ranger in the past, at the number 2 spot, we have Justin Braun, former New York Ranger, like I said, of last year, who they got at the trade deadline. And Justin Braun was just great for the Rangers last year. Not necessarily great, but he was a solid, nice 6th, 7th defenseman in 19 playoff games last year, had 1 point in 119 career playoff games, has 16 points, 3 goals, 13 assists there. This year, weird. He has no points at all in 34 games played, and he's a rotational piece on the Flyers. But the analytics absolutely love him to death when it comes to the defensive side of things. In the 95th percentile for defense, that is among the elite right there. Offensively, though, 1st percentile, not great at all. But we know what Justin Braun could do. We know he could bring some PK work as well if you need him to there. And we know that he's just going to be a nice little piece to play with Braden Schneider. We've seen it before. We saw it last year. So wouldn't be against it at all if they did go the route of a reunion of Justin Braun. Plus, you do have the connection where with Chuck Fletcher, you did make the trade last year. So I'd imagine that that connection's still there. So yeah, would be easier to facilitate a trade if they wanted to. But again, going to be interesting to see if they do want to go down the route of a reunion. And then coming in at the number 1 spot, there's a specific reason I have him at the number 1 spot, but we have Luke Schenn of the Vancouver Canucks. Now, the reason I have him here, a lot of that has to do with the fact that the Rangers and Canucks made a trade last year at the deadline, that being the Tyler Mott deal, of course. And in 49 games played, he has 16 points, 2 goals, 14 assists. What is there not to love? This should be the guy that they should go after, right? The points say it. He's a +7 as well, and he's doing solid for Vancouver. But the problem is he is on 3rd pair minutes, and he's not a favorite by the analytic gurus. He's definitely not a favorite at all in the 5th percentile in WAR. But defensively, he's not awful, sitting in the 49th percentile. Not great on the penalty kill, which is what really drags him down. He also does take a good amount of penalties. He's at 67 PIMs this year. Pretty much a career high or a season high for him. So, yeah, definitely would be a little worrisome there. But Luke Schenn, I think, could be a solid bottom pair defenseman and could also be a rotational piece. He's definitely going to shatter his career high in points this season. I don't think that there's a doubt about that. There might be a chance he ends up tying it, but he should be on pace to end up beating it. But again, would be a solid option, in my opinion, for the Rangers to go that route. And I think that he's the most likely for the Rangers to acquire because I think he's going to be the cheapest and because of the fact that he definitely is a bottom pair. And it's not like some of these other guys where you could probably play them maybe in the top 4, except for Justin Braun. But outside of that, yeah. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know some defensemen maybe that I missed. Let me know in the comment section as well who you like the most out of this list. Would love to hear from you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, remember to leave a like. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a video next. And I will see you guys in the next one.